I want to do a little bit of a sidebar here for a minute because I've heard other guys who were, territory guys. They grew up, they cut their teeth in Mid Atlantic or Mid South or what have you. And I would hear them talk about the presentation, the vision of Vince McMahon's WWF. And they would almost talk about it in in a disdainful way. Oh, that's that cartoony stuff. And so the perception was certainly, we don't do what they do. We're more, whatever this means, quote unquote, real wrestling.
Yeah.
That's for the kids, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I could see how a lot of people would say that when they're outside of the tent because they're trying to justify why perhaps that has a more higher profile opportunity than what their current home promotion does. Now, at this point, though, most of the territories, in fact, all the territories are gone. It's essentially a two-horse race now. It's WCW and the WWF. And now you've left, maybe on not the best terms with WCW. Did you feel like, hey, I got to try to make this different cartoony style work? Or is it a function of, hey, man, no matter what I was trying to tell myself, this is the big time? Or is it more of a, if I really want to make this wrestling thing work, I got to make it work here because I may
Yeah.
have burned a bridge there. Is it a combination of all three?
I don't know. I knew that I needed to tweak my game. It was again a different world. It was highly organized, and I had not been used to that, which was good. So when you say you're going to start at 10 o'clock, that's what time you're going to roll tape. So you need to be there earlier to get ready, makeup, wardrobe, go over your open. Bobby and I would only go over our open so we could get what he was going to say. I fit in,
Right.
and I knew he was the star of the team, so I fit in my little role, and it worked out. It worked out fine, quite frankly. It worked out real well. So, but I don't. I knew I had to change a little bit of my direction. Uh, the style there was more entertainment based,
Yes.
and it was less athletic based. I would prefer the athletic base, and eventually, when we got into the Attitude Era, that fit my style perfectly. But it took a while to get there because I wasn't on Raw for a long time, and but it worked out. It worked out. It's sometimes in life things are just meant to be if you stick with them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't turn your jersey in. Don't walk, don't go sit on the sideline. Don't I don't want to wear a clipboard, a visor, and carry a clipboard around like a backup quarterback. I want to play. I'm that way today, and so that's how I approach my job and my career. Is I want to get in the game because I felt like if I got in the game and was allowed to do a little bit of me, that eventually it would all work out fine. Heenan and I were a hell of a team. Really were. I wish I'd got to work with him longer, but he had already decided back in that period of time that he was pretty much done. He wanted more money. He wanted less hours. He wanted to change. And he, like I said, he wasn't a young kid. He knew what he wanted. He knew why he wanted it. And so eventually he got what he wanted. Vince let him go or let him leave. I think better. He didn't fire him. He just let him leave because Bobby wanted to leave. Same thing with Mean Gene. I loved him too. He was a great friend. I miss him every day. Him and Bobby both. They're two icons in the wrestling business that I got to sit under their learning tree and help me advance my game. So uh, I look at that whole time as a learning experience, a fun time. Like I said earlier, you can't work with Bobby Heenan and or Monsoon and get to know them and not have a good time. They're just that kind of guys. They're the kind of guys you want to go on long car trips with. They're the kind of guys you want to go to lunch with. Or they're the kind of guys you want to go have a little chocolate cake